Hey everybody, it's free to play Bust. We're going to do something a little different today. If you're familiar with a thing that was, I don't know if you'd call it popular, but it was certainly a thing on Magic Online probably I don't know, a good decade ago. It was a thing called a bottom right draft. It came about whenever before basic lands were actually included in the packs, and basically the way the run would go is if you're familiar with Magic, it's the top left card is always the rare or the mythic, and then it's three uncommons, and then the rest of the cards are all common. And so the idea behind the bottom right draft was you're basically taking what would probably be the worst card out of every pack. You're guaranteed to be taking a common for the most part, and you're just taking whatever card appears on the bottom right. And so we're going to try to do something a little similar today. I'm kind of curious if we can do it and then pull off a 7-win run. And so the way I'm going to approach it is I'm just going to take whatever draft pack is on the left, and then I actually do plan on doing the trade picks. There could be an argument for no trades or just trading whatever the top card is or whatever. But Runeterra is a little different in the draft than essentially any other game in the two card packs, the champion packs, and then the trade picks. And so the way we're going to look at it, at least for this run, is we're going to just take the left pack, and then we're actually going to do the trade picks. And so let me know what you think. If you think that if it's just too much cheating and we should just be doing no trades or trading the top card, let me know. But we're gonna jump in and just take left pack here and see how far we can take this. We gotta do something fun, right? The By the time this video comes out, the new patch will be out tomorrow, or yeah, if by the time you're watching this, the 1.6 patch may be out already, anyways. And so, it's the last day of the current patch, and so we might as well do something a little different before the meta gets shaken up tomorrow. Because I guarantee you, the expedition pools are going to change, and then likely, I'm sure. I don't follow constructed completely, but I'm sure there'll be some power level buffs and nerfs spread out throughout the cards. So we assume the game is going to be pretty different by the time this airs, and so we're just going to try to get in this run for funsies today. So let's see here. What are we starting with? Nice little suit up Sejuani. Got it. Taking it. It's Sejuani Garen. Oh, okay. We'll see how these fall. See if we end up with the with a bunch of Vanguard Bannermen. But keep going. Doesn't seem too awful. I'm getting to pull in a scouted out set. Some terrible cards with a terrible curve. It's going all right. See, look, the curve gets fixed a little bit. Pretty happy with how this is panning out. What do we got? Another Radiant. We can certainly win some games if we don't just die in the first few turns of the game. Some more parts of the curve, some more cheap stuff. Look at this curve's fixing itself. We can just trade away some of these 5-mana cards we're going to be set with all our unscarred Reavers. Let's see. Take Heart in the Blade Keeper. Another 1-drop, just what we needed. Chain Vest and Pocket Aces. All right. So let's see. I kind of I didn't pay a whole lot of attention as we were going through, but I think more powder might actually just be dead. We have a Make It Rain, and I think that was the only way to actually take use of more powder. So I think we have to trade it out. I would prefer just from a power level standpoint of 5-drops, I would prefer a Razor Skull Hunter over the Hunting Fleet, but I think we have to get rid of more powder. It's just no use in our deck whatsoever. All right, we're off. I didn't pay much attention. I'm not sure how close to a real deck this actually is, but I know we have a good set of top end. We have 2 Radiant Guardians. If we can just kind of get some like early game going on to where we don't just get run over, we should be pretty set. Okay, this seems reasonable. Like in a lot of these games, I'm like half tempted to keep Sejuani. I should say at least in this game 1. because, you know, there's just the one copy in our deck and it's so hard to pick up. But I think she's just like a little bit too expensive. I think it's okay if you're doing that with like Heimerdinger or Hecarim because they're such build-arounds, or if you're doing it with, say, something like Twisted Fate. Four mana is not that big of a deal. But I think with something like Sejuani, she's just too expensive, especially when we have this big pile of 5 and 6 drops. Okay. I think I actually just want to try to hold off on a Make It Rain. I think there's a good chance we can pop this thing. So I wanted to keep the 2 spell mana banked.
In the War Mother's name.
Sure. There would have been an argument for trying to pop it right here, but we'll be just a little bit greedy and see if the board doesn't get just a little bit better.
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
So what do we want to do here? Like, we can just never block Callista unless we play this thing. And I think this is fine.
Reporting for duty.
He does have, 3 mana, and there are a lot of compact tricks he can play here, but I think just shutting down his attacks here is good. If we just keep him from attacking, then we should ideally get a pretty reasonable Sheriff 2 turns from now. And there comes the question of, like, do we want to go ahead and pocket aces one of these little things so that they might actually be relevant this game? I think that might be okay. We're only saving 1 mana by doing that, though. I think we'll just pass. Oh yeah, Unscarred Reaver.
Victory lies
all right.
ahead.
So this attack should be reasonably good. Like, you can play like a big Demacia unit here, but Demacia is the only color of these that has like big units you can play here. Like, realistically, like, the biggest thing we should expect to see is like a 4/4, and I think we'll get a good attack with the first blade. Maybe not get an attack with the Squire, but I think this guy's probably getting in. Okay. None of the tricks here are particularly scary. Like, a riposte would be bad. A back-to-back would be kind of whatever. But I think this is fine. This is certainly fine. He really wants to get that Callista flipped. Okay.
You're gonna be sorry. Just wanted to play.
Sorrow without action is weakness.
Okay. This isn't particularly scary. We can just take a 7 hit if we need to here. Even better. So I'm gonna pass because we want to just sheriff up his entire board, and so we can't. I mean, we can play more units next turn and just get rid of some of these Unscarred Reavers. Maybe we should have put some blocks down here, but I don't think it was quite necessary.
You're all over the bounty board.
That's probably what we should have done. We should have put some attack on these. That feels kind of silly in hindsight now. But just really worried about, like, something dying and his Callista flipping, right? Because she is scary if he has, like, the Rekindler. So we kind of want to be able to deal with this. We want to add this. So we can, we won't be able to do all 3, but we can make it rain and
Break the strong, slaughter the weak.
like one or the other. You can play 2 of these 3 spells with the amount of mana that we have. Sure. Okay. So, like, the only, like, real thing I care about here is I want to put 4 attack on Callista. Because if he has a back-to-back or any +3 health thing, like a Twin Disciplines or something, I want to be able to take down this Callista with pocket aces. So I think I want to hit
We'll
you
take what we
here.
want.
This is going to be 3/3 in combat, and so I think this is reasonable.
At your signal.
Hook here.
The chase
you can hook
begins.
here. You can just leave these Reavers back. That's how you do it, boys. So granted, yeah, that would have been pretty sick if we actually had some damage on these Reavers and we got to hook in his
Fine
5 health thing. That combat in its own went about as well as we could hope.
Return to
That was
us.
exactly why we didn't let Callista flip.
We'll take what we need to survive. Come to the light.
Okay, so the Sheriff's just going to trade back with any of these. I think we're cool to just clear out his board again. We have a really good open attack next turn. We can Prismatic Barrier one of these. Let's actually save the Sheriff.
Brother, my time.
Stay out of my way.
We don't want him playing more cards to get this Callista flipped. He has to block with her now, unless he has a Grasp of the Undying or something.
Your death has been ordained.
Sure.
Justice will be served.
It's a bit on the annoying side, but it's going to be the 2/4 is going to be a perfect target for these Unscarred Reavers. Can't wait to use them.
We weren't expecting callers.
Possession. Just steals it for this round, right? Okay. Let's see if he has some sacrifice effect. It ultimately isn't too scary. We don't care to give these 2 up and play
You will be
these
scoured
2
from
after
this
the fact.
land.
I kind of want to keep 1 to hook in the 2/4, but I mean, we can hook the 2/4 in with Sheriff. It's not a huge deal.
Lift with your back, not. Wait. You'll regret when I lift this!
To 11? Okay, that's safe.
Deuce!
Years at sea hunting this foul creature.
Virtue guides me.
Half tempted to not play this just to get our Reaver back, but I have to imagine that if he had something to sacrifice this, he would have already played it.
2 worlds.
Plays a Shen after the
One
fact.
balance.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, I don't really want him to add to this board.
Yield or perish.
We want these to
Set it
come
all
in.
ablaze.
This is his best Radiant Guardian block, so we're going to put it down here.
This rose
and then
has
we're going to hook in
thorns.
this thing with the Sheriff so she can hopefully get some value later.
Immediately.
Hold back the darkness!
Okay.
I've trained my whole life for this.
I think I want to boost this thing. I don't think the health is going to matter here, but one of the things that could be relevant here is if he, say, just like drew a Black Spear, drew a Vile Feast, drew a Withering Wail. I want to at least go ahead and try to protect this from the one damage cards coming into the next turn.
rewards its faithful.
So, I mean, if he tries to Black Spear here, we still have Chain Vest. We have pretty good protection on this Blade Keeper with this thing. It might just be the best choice anyway, since he has Overwhelm. Like, we don't really need to be doing a lot with the Radiant. Just, she's good enough here, just not dying.
Get him! Get him!
And I don't think we need to Sejuani here. Like, we can realistically just, like, pop one of these units with the Blade Keeper and then play it after combat if we want.
She's just trimming her claws.
Okay. Alright, this should do it. We certainly want to open here.
Stay out of my way! Arr! Across the way!
Banish the unworthy!
Let's at least do it like this. I don't think it's going to
Strike
matter.
for
But
justice!
we'll pop up our life total first. I should have rearranged this. I want this first, this second, this third, and then these to the right.
You
But
cannot escape.
I don't think it's going to matter.
Stand strong!
Took a wrong turn, didn't you?
Meet my blade!
No!
Did you pick up
It's
the
too
Vengeance?
late
I think
for
this
you.
is the biggest Vanguard First Blade I've ever seen. Okay, good game, friend.
No fear. Shadow.
Okay, let's see what we get on the left here. I think it's either a Sejuani or a, whatever our other champion was. Garen, yeah. Oh, it comes with a Tusk Raider? Okay. We've certainly got the top end power here. If we can just get some trades to make our curve not abysmal, then we got almost a real deck. Okay. This is better than Gauntlet, am I right, boys? Play Gauntlet, just have it be standard. Nah, man. Okay. Might have a little trouble going toe-to-toe with the Lex Heimerdinger. Man, what can we even hit here? The two Scarthane Stephens. We have some ones. I'm trying to determine if we want to keep this Wolf Rider, because we're going to be on the even attacks. I think we can go for it. We'll get rid of the Chain Vest to try to look for just actual any unit that we can attack our opponent with. There we go. There we go. We're getting the curve. All right.
Confine and contain.
Okay. I don't quite want to play the Protector. We can get him down
You'll
next
go
turn.
no farther.
Depending on what our opponent does, it should just shut them down from attacking. And then if they like don't play a unit here and then play a 3,
Better sight
then we
protect
should
me.
be able to get wider than him. Don't think that plan's gonna pan out here.
Charged up and ready to go.
How do we want to do this? This seems reasonable.
My shield is yours.
There's an argument for just making like a big Stefan, but then he can just like attack into this and block with this or something. I don't know. He's getting 2 for 1 like that, but this should just shut down his attack, and he may or may not want to actually block with this Prodigy.
My steel is yours.
Halt!
You gonna get him? You gonna get got? Give us that plunder?
You'll go no farther.
Too bad. Too bad. Okay.
I fail.
I think we want to hang on to him, though. Let's see what he adds in. Like, we're kind of in this spot now. We're doing this at like 5-4. It's 5-5. Let's say, I think we're probably just going to want the
Smell that,
stats.
Varg?
Because with a hand like this, we're going to play a 5 next turn, and then a 5 on our 6, and probably a 5 on our 7. And there's just never a point in time where this fits the curve. See if he attacks in again. We'll barrier this thing if he does.
Virtue guides me.
We don't need remembrance, friend. We got the radiance. Okay. I assume he's not attacking. How do we want to approach this? We can, like, Razor Scale Hunter this, don't do a scout attack, and then get a good hook. Because we can hook this in and then just not care about it. I think that's fine. We do give up our ways to interact, though, if we try to do this. But I don't really want to add the 4-5 because it just trades here. Don't really want to play Radiant without her boosted against these big units. Could make a 4-4 with this thing, but I'd rather have the 4 cost and the 3 cost together next turn. So I think we're just going to be playing this. Actually, let's do it like this. We'll get the scout attack in on this thing, and then we can Prismatic Barrier and try to get whatever trade on this thing with the next attack.
First one's free.
Sure, makes it a little awkward, but it's still okay. At least can overwhelm over this thing.
Blood on the snow.
Maybe you need a closer look.
Okay, I still want to just keep this. We have a vastly superior board to what he's doing, and there's a good chance these trade with just anything that he actually has.
Boom.
Sure. We got more radiance, friend. Okay. I don't think we want to go for the 3 and the 4 anymore, so I'm just going to play the Reaver. Well, he's going to attack, right? There's no way he just plays these and passes. Well, maybe he does. That works out for me. The Garen is interesting. Let's do this. Let's start with the Hunter. Wow. You got a second reinforcement? That's more of a problem. Okay. We can still get this Garen in.
My heart and sword.
If he has
for
a Radiant or
Demacian.
a Mystic Shot, it kind of sucks, but I feel like if he had a Mystic Shot or something, he would have played it by this
Banish
point.
the unworthy!
Should be super obvious we have a combat trick here, but I don't know if he
I
ever
will
just
hold
lets
the
us try to
line.
get away with it. If he just has something like Ranger's Resolve, this is extremely bad for him. But I think we have to just kind of go for it here when he only has 2 mana. Piltover doesn't have good combat tricks. Single combat. Okay.
Take my helmet. We'll take what we need to survive.
Okay.
Pillage and burn.
Let's keep making big boys.
For the honor of my house.
We barely have the biggest of the boys. This is just lethal on him. He probably has to add something, right? He had attacks with this thing?
Like my blade?
Do we care? Like, what if he blocks here and here? Do we take 1 from this? 8, 9, we're going to be short. Okay.
Oh, please.
Let's make our scout attack good.
Another will get you.
Interesting, you know, plays. They just like 100% combat tricks here.
Try me, I dare you.
Okay.
Let me sing.
Sure.
Victory lies ahead.
I fight for the fallen!
Sure. I was like, this is something is weird here, right? I forgot that he played the conservators, but it was just kind of like he doesn't have like the ruination. I guess I should have considered that he could have the ruination, but I think this is still all okay. Hell yeah, Unscarred Reaver. Just what we were looking for here. Okay. So, I think we just want to open here. I mean, he has like no units. Something's going to go wrong here. Like if we get hit with back-to-back, how bad is this? I don't think we can like not attack the Purify, sure. Okay. I mean, I just don't know what this guy's hand looks like for this to the board to come about like this. We can hold off here. I like to be able to like somewhat surprise go wide on him.
Answers. I have them.
Yeah.
Still so much to learn.
He's just gonna fill out his board now, right? He has to have spells or something.
What do you see, boy?
These stuffins are good here. Keeps his warden from attacking. Alright, I don't know what we actually lose to here, but
Strike for justice!
let's bring the thunder. I want these guys on the right in case he has like a judgment or something. Like I don't know if he does damage to all of our units or something. We
What
want these
brings
guys
you
to be able
here?
to get boosted.
And welcome.
Just rummaging. Okay. We discarded his
So it's
accelerated
here,
pursuit.
somewhere.
Okay. I don't think there's any expensive spells that get him out of this. There's slow, expensive spells that get him out of this problem, but I don't think there's any fast spells that get out of this. I guess he could hit like a progress day and then draw some more cards or something. Alright. Alright. Let's see. This will work. I think our big thing here is we just want to push our curve down. Riposte would be okay. The seer is kind of weak here. Maybe we do need to take this riposte. Like when you're like the makeup of your deck is 3 Unscarred Reavers and 2 Scarthane Steffens. Just being able to do something with them seems reasonable, but I think we still just want to pick up the seer. The Squire is horrendous in our deck. I think we have one elite. You're not elite than the Protector. I think it's just you're not elite, right? Nothing. Just the one first blade, right? Garen's an elite, so we have 2. But yeah, I think picking up the seer is okay. Giving one of these real turds in the Scarthanes, just like +1/+1, could be so big. Okay. Riot knows what's up. They know we're bottom. We're left pack drafting. They gotta find a fellow left pack drafter for us to face here. Is Ron Man or Iron Man 1? I'm familiar with Ron Man. This is interesting, right? Like the make it range should be good here. There's a lot of good 1-drop or 1 health units across both of these pools. And it's like I look at this Blade Keeper and it's like, all right, that's gonna make Plucky Poro good. Yeah, this is a good hand for the Blade Keeper. All right, shit's turning around.
In the War
Sure.
Mother's name.
My hand is ill-equipped to deal with Unscarred Reavers.
I never miss.
So what's gonna happen? He's gonna like attack here. I think this is fine. I mean, we still just want to keep curving here. This will shut down the attack. Don't
I'll
quite
prove
want to be
myself to the
making
War
it
Mother.
rain. Okay.
I'll
You have a
stop
trick. You have a trick. I don't care. I think he just wants to plunder here, and he's gonna play a Jagged Butcher behind. Nope. Just he is playing Gangplank. Maybe he has Gangplank in hand.
Honor guide me.
Gotcha in my sights.
Make it rain isn't particularly scary here. That's what this represents. Oh, Fury of the North. Okay. Sure. That's fine. We're gonna play a boosted butcher and then have 2 mana banked for the Make It Rain.
Ready, aim. Captain's orders.
Okay.
Bullet to the.
Say your farewells.
So weird. Such a weird game. He's just like all in Gangplank.
Victory lies ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna kill this thing just yet. We're certainly gonna open here.
The dead
Can't have him just like dropping his Gangplank onto this board. That's a a real problem for us. And getting the plunder here is pretty big.
Yeah,
Not even
you
getting
don't want to
like,
cross
wow.
me.
Okay.
There is truth in blood.
Sure. Okay. This will be a huge overwhelm attack next turn if
We
it
know the
doesn't do
value
anything
of
to our
coin.
board.
I've got us covered.
You poor thing.
Another Fury of the North here. Just for the absolute could not care lesses. Scrap shot. Okay.
I failed.
You'll get yours.
That's 7 plus 6, 13. Is that how that math works? Yep.
Years at sea
We should be
hunting
able to
this
put these
foul
down, put
creature.
this thing over on the right. Lethal through it. Oh, we should have made it rain right there. I was thinking about it and then I just clicked pass. Does he ever abuse us for not just plowing in here? I don't think so.
Came a long way for a bullet.
Yeah, this Make It Rain would have been a lot better on his turn. Just guaranteed this damage in. If he has like another Fury of the North or something here, it'd still be lethal. Oopsies. This isn't how you win your bottom left drafts, boys. But this is still okay. We're still really healthy here.
Pledge to Sejuani's service.
Let's save this. Like the kind of the idea I had like a turn or two ago was that we were going to boost up our do it like this. We were going to boost up our Jagged Taskmaster with the Blade Keeper to get another 5 attack unit for this thing. Didn't quite come
Close
together.
your eyes and drift away.
Can we just kill him this turn? Let's just try to kill him this turn. Sure. Okay. I don't think he can get out of. Well, he can elixir of iron out of this. But we want to make it rain to happen.
Up and at 'em!
We want to hit this thing now. We can pull this unit in so it can't block our 2 overwhelms. Okay. Who's going to be on the left this time, boys? We're getting another Sejuani. Yep. Okay. It's got a 2-drop in it. I'm not real excited about this outfitter, but it'll be at 18 and 18, so we're at least coin flipping to hit on this thing. Could be worse. Could certainly be worse. We're going to take this to 7. I was really not suspecting to take the first one of these to 7. I figured there'd be a run at some point in time when we could get to 7. Maybe we're talking too soon. Our deck is still pretty bad, and I've been playing less than optimally today. I've just missed a few things along the way, which has been pretty excited for how this is going. So I haven't been paying 100% attention, but we'll clean it up. We're making good progress on this run. Okay, we can't do anything with this Reaver. We'll keep the Butcher. He can do stuff. But I think we want to open with the Poro. Given the quality of our deck, I'd like to just take a little bit of value if we can actually do it. But it's going to be like turn 5 when we do it, but I don't think the 1 damage here is ultra important.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
I'm going to bank this up, see if we
Safeguard
can.
our
Oh, it's just going to
homes.
let us trade. We're in Nivea. Okay, let's see if we can get another card out of it next turn. Or with that,
Brothers born from battle.
we can put together a decent plunder turn.
Peer beyond. Snow buries all.
Let's see how this goes. If we
Ready
can
the
clear out
torches.
this seer, that would be great.
Alert the village!
Put a spring in your step and stars in your eyes.
Interesting. I think we still just want to play this one. Right, if we play this, we can boost this. He's just going to no-block it and then put the Barkeep in front of the Blade Master.
Moonfence
This
of
is
blood.
okay. Like, we're getting to this point to where, like, I don't like,
Let's
when
take
we
this
have a chance to go
outside.
open against Freylord, I like to do it. Just because it's so easy for them to play a giant unit that shuts down all of our attacks, or all of our attacks except this Garen, or makes Garen have to trade. Just a lot of stuff I'm not real stoked about. Okay,
Ah, just another winter. Oh,
let's get our values here.
We feast tonight, Barg.
ye started without
Gonna
me.
be able to do a lot of blocking though.
Winter is the Freljord's true ruler.
I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to just drop Garen here. He's never attacking into us with this board. So I think we just want to play Blade Keeper and boost. I think we need to boost this thing. And we have good attacks with these two plus Garen next turn. I like it.
Laurents are born with blades in hand.
You play your other Poro. That's what this looks like. We're hoping that we can just get ultra lucky and make it rain this thing down. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. I don't think that's too likely. But thanks the mana. Okay.
Ice runs in our veins.
How much is this if we actually want to play it? That's 11.
For justice, for Demacia.
Sure. Okay, so our attacks are safe right now.
Demacia.
This will be a good winter. We'll make quick work of you.
I think this is okay. I mean, his units are all turds. The Boom Crew Rookie can block here and then take 8. Like, that sounds unadvisable. I assume this is probably going to line up in front of something. Taking the 5 bomb. 5. Goes to 7. Okay.
Sends chills up my spine.
Okay, okay. We'll have to see what he does here, but the way I'm kind of looking at this is we're just going to drop this Make It Rain. If it hits good stuff, we could perhaps just kill it. If not, then we can still just play the Tusk Raider. Then the other kind of thing here is he just has 3 mana.
An auspicious season.
Okay. How much did this cost? 2. So what happens? He plays this thing. Let's say we bomb this. He goes to 2. He has this thing, Heimer, and this. This can now attack. And it has 6 health, and just with him at 2, I think that's what we want to be doing. I'm just going to go ahead and bomb this. There is a world where he doesn't play this. I don't think it happens too frequently, but even if our attack doesn't win the game next turn, then having the Tusk Raider from that point should be enough to overrun this. Okay. Sure.
Another day, another fight.
Alright, let's get him in there. He has to have a big removal spell for this or a Frostbite. Like Harsh Winds would be, good for him here, but not quite the end of the world. He's doing stuff, so I'm guessing he has a Frostbite. Doing the mental mathematics. Do him. We need the Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover doing the mathematics.
Fly away while you can.
Okay. Good game, friend. All right. Interesting. I am kind of interested in this Blade Keeper. It plays reasonably well in this. That is kind of like the suit up theme. But I mean, we have these 3 Reavers, these 2 Stephans. We have some Overwhelms in this, like Outrider. There's just a lot of places where this plays well. And the Hunting Fleet is kind of a turd. We don't really have Plunder combos. I mean, we had some Plunder that game. We have the Tusk Raider down here, but you don't play Crackshot Corsair because you have the Tusk Raider in your deck. So I think I do want to trade this Hunting Fleet for the Blade Keeper. He has some good synergy with a lot of our deck. Okay. I've been thinking, I don't know if we should be doing left back drafts. Right? Because the way the thing works is you pick the first champion. And then, say it's dual faction, so like we took Sejuani. Or, was Sejuani first? I can't remember. How did that pan out? I know we got Garen second, but I think that Sejuani was first. Maybe it's just that the pairing is guaranteed to show up. I thought the pairing showed up in the left pack. But nonetheless, like, we can get rid of Radiant. I'm kind of half tempted to keep these 3s. We're kind of like 50-50 to hit with this Outrider, which is pretty big for us. He's playing Garen Darius, so it's probably not ultra aggressive. I think we can do this. Maybe that was... Like, if we can't play anything until turn 4, we're going to lose the game. If we can play something on turn 3, then we'll be 100% okay. But maybe we should have gotten rid of, like, 2 cards. Like, gotten rid of the Outriders or gotten rid of the Blade Keeper. I don't know. We could have just drawn a 3 and said, look how good we are at this game. Awkward. Alright, we're just going to get domed.
Feel the sizzle! No one goes hungry.
Okay, and then we have to like 100% play First Blade. There's no two ways around it. We can't play a unit that can trade into these, and then if he plays a 4-attack unit, then we probably just lose.
Demacian shall prevail.
But if this guy can get his attack off and we can take Hearted, then we're right back in it.
You're covered.
Justice by my hand.
Shield up.
That's not ideal. Let's roll the dice. See how this goes. We at least hit this thing. This combat trick is not great. Really needed this guy to survive.
I failed.
I guess one of the perks here is he's really kind of...
I've got your back.
I was going to say he's really incentivized to open, and if he's only opening for 5 attack, that's pretty good for us. Opening for 8 is a bit of a problem. I guess 9 actually, since he has War Chefs.
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
Let's just make this board as big as we can. We'll play the Poro and give it +2/+2. We can play Sejuani next turn. Hopefully get a good attack.
Let's mess some folks up.
Okay.
Laurents are born with blades in hand.
I think we just have to leave this thing.
Carved from the savage cold.
And then how aggressive do we want to get here? I'm kind of okay with like hooking this, and then we can attack with both of these depending on what he plays. Oh god, we're gonna get like back to back or something. I think this is all we want to do. So even if he +3 attacks us, we don't lose our unit.
Blood for Noxus.
We can deal with Darius for a moment.
Is the hand of Noxus. Feel the sizzle.
How's the opening? Oh man, if he tries to get scout attacks in, we could have just got him so good. Okay. So we have to do this.
Wield your fury.
I'm just going to accept we lose to a combat trick. We lose to every combat trick here except Radiant. Like, we do dot a Radiant here, but we have to get something going to try to take this game back over. So, are we dead? Probably, but sure. Sure. Okay. That's one way to do it. Okay. God, man, I don't. I just want me to get rid of our one drops. We just want cheap stuff. Like, it doesn't matter if it's units or spells. We just want things that don't cost 5 and 6. Damn. I don't think we can patch up on the harsh winds. I don't really want these chain vests, but we already have like 1,000,000 cards in the 4 slot. A reasonable chunk of them actually being units. This isn't one of these decks where we just have 4 or 5 Fury of the North. We have actual units here, so I don't really want to pick up Grizzled Ranger. The Spirit Walker's okay, but I don't think he's like ultra necessary here. A lot of the stuff already has Overwhelmed to begin with. The Harsh Winds is just too good. Alright. Too bad. We would have been singing high praises for that game if we'd picked up a card we could play before turn 4. just actual anything, and that game would have been okay. But can't have all the luck all the time. It's just not the way it goes. So here, we'll get rid of these. We're on the even attack, so this guy could be okay. I think I'm fine with keeping this. This is still another one of these things to where, like, a lot of these decks, when we actually draft them, we end up with a big pile of, like, 3-drops in it. A lot of times we'll just cycle away our 3-drops, because we know, like, it usually doesn't matter which one you draw. And so, you know, we kind of hopefully mulligan to your, like, 1s and 2s, and then if you hit a 3x3, then you don't really care.
Beyond.
But maybe we should have taken that approach with this first blade.
These eyes see all.
I'm not real convinced this is actually a Teemo deck. He didn't play anything on 2, so it might be. We aren't exactly worried about this yet.
Could you hold this?
I'm going to run this out. Our hand's a whole big mess of units,
You're covered.
and so we just have to get dudes on board. Sure.
Press on.
Okay. I think we just have to play the unit. If he has a Mystic Shot here, we can protect this. The big thing that we worry about here is a Clump of Warmth, which I'm like, yeah, we can still chain vest into him.
Excuse you.
This would be a good winter.
Get that flip Teemo.
I
He's
love
gonna
the
race
smell
here.
of mushrooms in the morning. Success is planting your mushrooms right.
Sure. Not ideal, but we should just be taking one flipped Teemo hit, and he hasn't done any aggression to us. So this is all in all pretty
I'll
okay.
scout ahead. Could you hold this?
Need to go ahead and get Garen down. Being able to attack on his turn might be pretty huge here. Sure. Okay, Sheriff time. Well, I guess could just be Sejuani time. Do kind of the same thing.
You own what you take. Finest gear, but
He just has no mana now. He only has 2, so he can't punish us for hitting this with Starlit Seer. But then Garen just runs into this. Still want to attack with Sejuani. And Garen has to attack as well, so we need to do it this way.
Gear's not just for building.
I did my best.
Okay.
Double trouble.
Oh, Andy has another Teemo? Fuck. So how do we do this again? If we play Sheriff next turn, how awkward is that? We hit for... We can't like 4 and 3, but we can Reaver, boost the Reaver, and then play Sheriff next turn. Or do we want to just go full overwhelm and try to Spirit Walker? No, we can't do that. We just have to start with the Reaver.
Armed and ready.
Yep.
Top caps.
It's a problem. If we want to go ahead and do this, if he plays another unit, we might need to just dictate this full combat. Sure.
More for my collection.
So that was actual Teemo he just shuffled.
I got ways to find me mushroom.
I feel like that might have been a little aggressive. What are we up to here? Like 3 damage a turn, 4 damage a turn. But we'll get to attack on his turn. We're going to full clear his board and then get to hit next turn.
More equipment for the field.
Ugh. That wasn't exactly 4 or 5 damage a turn.
Bilgewater's a mess, but I'll clean it up.
Class
Sure.
5 focused optical burn. Laserproof safety gear.
Okay.
I got you.
So we need our 30th unit to hook you.
The Scar
Shoot a hook
Maidens will
here.
know my name.
Demacian!
Garen can do this.
Oh,
Everything's
vermin.
attacking here. Something's gonna go in front of Sejuani. We're just gonna Fury of the North Open. He blocks here.
Justice waits for no one.
I've got questions.
Okay.
An auspicious season.
So if he doesn't puff cap us, then we can win next turn. We just gotta dodge this. It's at 3 damage a turn.
I will not falter!
Let's see how this goes. It's gonna crash for 6. So it can play like 1 unit. If the unit goes here, then we're repping 13. Alright.
Stay
Alright.
resolute.
One-time dealer. One-time dealer. Okay. Okay. He's just gonna play fucking get excited. I think we have to rate. Oh, sick, sick. Nice, nice.
Justice triumphs.
We did the mental calculations there and knew that it would work. Nice. Okay. All right, our choice for some more expensive cards here. Okay. I don't think I want to get rid of Wolf Rider. I would be kind of okay with Fury of the North, and we have a tough time plundering. This might be the one we want to do. I don't think there's enough difference between Fury of the North and back-to-back to where I wouldn't just want the cheaper one. This double up is kind of interesting in that it's not like, you know, like a real good removal spell, but we don't actually have removal spells in our deck. And so these plunders from the Corsair are largely irrelevant. Like the damage from the Corsair matters if you're doing things with nab, or we're gonna call it nab, or if we're having plunders going on, then you know, the Corsair is important. Or the thing number 2 is if we have a bunch of scouts, and so if he's actually cracking for 2 damage a turn, that's kind of a big deal. But we're just not doing that here. But we just need these cheap cards so bad, so much more than we need these things that cost 6. I think like the way we typically kind of approach these Sejuani decks is like we want like 3 Sejuanis, 3 Harsh Winds, maybe like a handful of, you know, like, oh, we picked up a, you know, a Scarred Maiden Reaver and a Tusk Raider. Like we would be okay with that. But usually beyond like these 3 Harsh Winds, these 3 Sejuanis, we usually just accept epics. We'll take the Sheriff, we'll take the Tusk Raider, just because everything's so expensive. So I think we kind of have to just accept that we need to push our curve down farther. pick up the Corsair. I mean, we do have some plunders. We have that Wolf Rider. I wouldn't exactly call this a plunder deck, but it's not like it's a zero value Crackshot Corsair. Makes me feel like marginally bad when, you know, we. I think whatever the expedition record is it now, like we've done 130 some expeditions, and it's like roughly, I think like 40% of them are to the final battle. Like 40, it's not 50%, but I think it's more than 30. We'll just call it 40. And then we're at 5 wins with this gen, so makes me wonder
I never.
if we're just doing something right or how wrong we're doing stuff. Here, I think this is okay just to run out the Protector. Hecarim, 20. Because I think a lot of
My
times
shield
he
is
just
yours.
plays like a Cursed Keeper or something here, or like he might play the worst thing for us he could play would be the two attack thing that gives you 2 spell mana, which he could be doing. It's hard to tell. Like with these champions, if he actually started full Death's Door, like Ezreal Thresh, and then picked up Hecarims, or if he started Hecarim Ezreal and then picked up a Thresh for who knows what reason. But I think, I'm trying to think if that 2-drop even lives there.
Time for a true display of skill.
Okay, let's get on board. Right, we're just going to play a 4-cost and smash next turn.
Watch and learn.
He's going to take his time killing this thing.
Can't stop me.
We see through all.
Okay. And how willing are we to put 1 damage on Ezreal to get 2 damage in? Because, right, he's just got a Mystic Shot, whatever. I don't think we even want to play this, right? If he has, like, the physical card Mystic Shot, we're like, so far behind. I think we need to play the Outrider here.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
Because we're good at this game. I think this is like actually okay for us. Like I have in my mind, it's like we're sitting here and we're like, oh no, we're gonna lose like so much value to this Ezreal. But if he's spending like this 2 damage over and over, or this 2 mana over and over again to like whittle away our board, and then we just start dropping these big monsters, I think that's actually great for us. Right, we're getting all this chip damage in. We should be able to kind of get on this overwhelm plan.
Whoa, got room for 2?
Not sure I have room for 1.
I think this is good enough.
You can't outrun me.
Sure. They don't have combat tricks here that matter. His Mystic Shot is just pointed at this. I think that's a pretty big win for us. This is just the absolute unit Sejuani. Oh shit. Oh god. Drop that beast on the absolute unit subreddit. Okay. Not ideal, but sure. So we need to wait on him to attack, and then we'll play the first blade afterwards. And then we'll Sejuani this next turn. May not even need to Sejuani this. Like, I'm still kind of in the same boat where, like, he wants to just keep, like, Mystic Shotting our shit. I really just don't care. And so to that end, like, how much do we need to actually get Overwhelm out of this? Like, the idea with the overwhelm on this was that we were just going to be able to boost the sheriff. But if we're just going to be on this play where we play Spirit Walker into Sejuani, I don't even really care about this thing being flipped. Because this isn't going to be an open. I feel like if he had a Mystic Shot, though, he would have already used it. But I don't think we're just never going to get a plunder out of this thing.
Truth in blood.
I don't miss.
Do we ever need to block here? I don't think, at least with this one. He's not real close to flipping this Ezreal.
You own what you take.
The old Shogun of sodomy. Whatever the fuck. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I understand what all the words in the username mean. I don't think they fit together.
Face me, coward!
Maybe it's one of the things all the kids are talking about these days on the TikToks. Can't even beam this. What do you got here? Okay.
These eyes see all.
Your
I'll
second
prove
attack.
myself to the War Mother.
Right. If there's ever a world where he plays like a Withering Whale or something, we want this guy attacking. If he plays a the burst unit thing, we just don't really care. That's fine.
No way.
I think he's trying to line up a beam on Sejuani for next turn, which that's just a game over play.
How can I help?
Got like a big +3 attack here. Good. What's he gonna hit this with a grasp? So we have 8 mana next turn. I think we just want to play Garen and open. But if he blocks Garen here, has a grasp here, it's not enough to be lethal. But I think this is what we want to do.
My heart
At least
and
start getting
sword for Demacian.
the tick ups on his level up. Yep. And also we can just play Sheriff next turn as well. And so we can like hook this thing with the Reaver.
I've got these.
Getting all the unscarred Reaver value this game. Oh shit. We want to play this in case he plays like a 10 drop. Yeah, there we go. That was exactly what we were hoping to see come out of our unscarred Reaver play. Alright boys, I think we're going to make it to the final battle through the old shotgun of sodomy.
Is my duty.
Oh shit. Okay, so anyways,
The chase begins.
Oh, vermin!
okay. Don't think there's any way he can get through this for 1 mana. Let's just be game. Yep. Alright, boys. Alright. Make it to the final battle with the left pack draft.
Justice.
I honestly feel bad if we like do this and then just 7-win it right from the get-go on the first one. Like this isn't something I've just like cherry picked. I just I didn't really feel like playing real expeditions right before the patch comes out. So here, this is whatever. I don't want the Silverwing Diver. The only cards that we really have the combo with this are the single, the Valerian Blade Keepers, and to a degree Take Heart. Like, there's just not enough going on with this. You really need to be in kind of like full Fiora build around before the Diver's any good. So we'll pick up at least the bigger unit. Alright, we can't really pick up anything cheaper. Interesting. I think the one Sheriff is enough. Kind of tempted to switch the Chain Vest for the Take Heart. But I mean, we haven't really been in a lot of situations where this Take Heart would actually be good. And as these games kind of progress and we're sitting on like, you know, it's like, oh, we've got to play a 5, a 6, and a 7 all in a row, or 5, 5, 6, or however our curve works out. It's a lot easier to play a Chain Vest than it is to play a Take Heart. We don't have any challengers. I just don't think that's worth it. But this one might be. And this is kind of awkward as to where the things... Take Heart gets a lot better when we have these Scar Maiden Reavers. But I am going to make this swap. I think the Overwhelm is good enough to make up for that. It does get rid of some of our ways to interact, but it just kind of unfortunately happens. Okay. Speaking of not having challengers, we can pick up the Protege. The Pocket Aces is so bad, but it's at least a combat trick. This is tough. The Pledge could be okay as well. It's like I'm trying to like push this out of my head. Like I immediately just think that the Protege is such a good unit. It's the best card that we want here, but like we just don't have combos with it. We just have the one Pocket Ace as a Prismatic Barrier. We have some, I guess. We got the Blade Keepers. I did just trade away some of our interaction as well. Okay. Okay, maybe he's good enough. Yeah, I don't want to do any of this. There's an argument for picking up the Redoubled Valor. It's just so good with these, who's you called? Radiant Guardians. It's also pretty good with Sejuani. Just turning her into a 10 attack Overwhelm isn't the worst thing. Maybe we can pull this off. I think I've convinced myself on this Redoubled Valor. We just have all these giant Overwhelms. I think it'll be okay. Just keep going expensive here. I'm going to take this Take Heart. It's at least a moderately playable trick. A Judgment. Huh. Interesting. I kind of wish we didn't trade away that last Reaver. I think I want these 2 Reavers. I don't think I want to drop below 2. The Battle Fury is interesting in that we have, you know, all of these Overwhelms, you know, like Wolf Rider, Reavers, to a degree, the Walker, Sejuani, but, like, I don't really want to trade away my Overwhelms to pick it up. I don't want the Lancer. This Judgment is so extremely powerful. These are pretty close. It doesn't feel like the kind of deck that just like really needs Judgment, but it just so easily wins so many games, and this is such a low value unit. I'm going to pick it up. I think it's powerful enough to warrant here. Okay. Alright. It's so awkward. It's like... if we could see from the get-go like the trades that we were going to be offered, it would go completely different way. Like hindsight's 20/20 in that one. Here, we're going to get rid of everything. If this was a 1-cost unit, I would be stoked, but we need the actual dudes. Okay. Starting out with an 8-drop isn't advisable, but you know. Our deck can't complain when you mulligan and pick up a 1 and 2 2s. And here again, I'm still pretty happy with this play.
I've got your back.
Like we're never going to have a great opportunity to play this. We have our one learned protege the combos with this, and so I'd prefer to just go ahead and start to try to take over the board a little bit, just apply a little pressure, and sure, absolutely, get a free brittle steel. So that's all fine with me.
I deal in coins and carnage.
Okay. Let's go ahead and rip
We
this out.
see through
I'm happy to make
all.
this trade.
Time to make some coin.
Sure. It's weird, I mean, he is doing a lot of ash things, but he only has 2 ashes in his deck at most. So, see how this pans out.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
We used all our luck in the last game.
All the world
Okay,
on
it's
one
never bluffing.
arrow. Make it worth my while.
Wow, he's got another brittle steel?
Son of a...
Okay.
As the arrow flies.
What pops here? Is it just too obvious if we do this?
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
Might be. I mean, he has to frostbite here. Yeah. Okay.
I fight for the fallen.
Okay, okay.
You own what you take.
Not a bad start. It's a good chance he just harsh wins here, but like this is ultimately not a super scary harsh wins. Ugh. 10 plus 3. Let's math this, boys. 10 plus 3. That's 13. Okay.
This is our home.
If he has a brittle steel, this could be real awkward. If he could crystal arrow us next turn. But I don't think that's quite the case here. Okay.
My aim is true.
So we have to get to the spot where we can open on him next turn. Then how do we feel about just
Show
getting
me a
nugged for
target.
14? Oh, well, we don't have a choice. Okay. So, next turn we have to open on him, because he's just going to crystal arrow us. Now, the question becomes, like, what do we play here? This isn't going to get boosted. If we get you to 7, that's only going to take us to 13. What happens if he has harsh winds? Then we have problems. Then the other kind of thing I want to look at is if he like crystal arrows his next turn, can we play like a unit behind? Which we can, but it's just going to get killed by, or she's just going to get this
The
attack in.
calm before the storm.
I think we just have to play Radiant.
Virtue guides me.
Okay.
Our ranks fill the valley.
Lead the target.
I refuse.
Oh shit, we did it, boys. I promise. I didn't cherry pick this run. I just did it. I was thinking, we're going to get the left pick run tracker going, and shit. But sometimes you just left pack drafted and 7 win it. But cool, there you have it. I don't see like much need in doing recap on these. I mean, we technically can. This is, like a reasonable exercise in, kind of like your deck building. I know. Obviously, like the left pick drafting is not very much as far as deck building goes, but all the trade picks are still extremely relevant, and it is kind of interesting to see, like what direction our deck is actually doing things well, and where we can try to trade things out to pick up strength in our deck. And so maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not going to do it on this run, but give me a comment if you'd like me to continue on with that with the recap at the end, because I do see where there could be some value in doing it, because I kind of knew specifically what we were pushing together once we kind of morphed this into a Sejuani deck. But yeah, there you have it. That's left pack draft number 1, taking it straight to a 7 winner. Hope you guys enjoyed the run and learned something along the way. This is Free to Play Bust, and thank you for being here.